down! Shut it down! Shut it down!
I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, shut this power plant down! The people gonna rise like the water. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, shut this power plant down!
The Obama administration had the Clean Air Plan, which was a joke, which basically supported the frack gas industry because they understand this is what gives us energy independence, supposedly, independence from what we're doing in the Middle East, and puts us in a position of being an exporter of energy. Now, right now, they can't do that because they don't have the infrastructure, the pipelines to get the gas where they need it. So they create these power plants because if the people of New York knew that they were destroying the environment to get this gas to Canada, they would say no. But if you say, oh, we're going to build you a power plant, now that's the Obama administration. We support the fossil fuel industry to the tune of billions and billions of dollars a year. I think it's around $500 billion. That is to support an industry that is basically going to kill every living thing on this planet. So our priorities are completely backwards. If you ban fracking in this state because you believe that the health effects are injurious to the people of New York, why would you then condemn the people of Dimock, Pennsylvania to greater and greater exploitation by this industry, ruining their health, their water, the lives of their children, so that purely for profit and to obviously get the campaign donations that you need and a posture that you are now an environmental hero when you're not an environmental hero. You're basically a coward.
It's whitewashing. It's a classic form of this. So this neoliberal approach, their argument is, well, if we have to get off of fossil fuels, this is an international security issue. This has to do with national security. Also ties in Russia because there's a competition for resources fracking with Russia. There's all these elements, but the neoliberal argument is, okay, so what replaces fracked gas?
Yeah. There's a study from Cornell that shows that we could be totally in New York on renewables by 2020. And that is without the commitment, the same kind of commitment and money, resources that we're giving to the fossil fuel industry. If it stops now, which it has to do, then we can transition and there will be jobs. And of course, there will be sacrifices. If people think that we're going to get out of this crisis without individual sacrifices and sacrifices for the public as a whole, they're horribly mistaken. It's not going to be an easy transition. We went through this once before during the Depression in this country. We had an extraordinary leader who understood that if nothing was done, the people of this country would revolt, there would be a revolution, and we would lose this democratic experiment. So he said to the powers that be, you have to make concessions. You have to meet these people halfway. You have to create a safety net for these people. Everything has been taken from them. Well, now we have all of humanity that needs a safety net.
When we shut CPP down, I want to be there in their number. When they shut CPP down.
By building this plant and allowing it, if it's allowed to become operational, they are sentencing our children to adverse health impacts, and they are sentencing our children to an unlivable planet, because we know what climate change is doing, and we know that we have such a short window to act. So they're sentencing our children to a completely unlivable future, to catastrophic climate events, to food scarcity, to all kinds of disease and illness that come with fossil fuel extraction and climate change. And so this action is symbolic. And also, I don't want to feed the corruption to the town of Wauwatosa and the corruption to the state of New York. This project is costing us, the citizens, $940 million per year, and I'm going to pay that town a $375 fine? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They should be compensating all of us. They should be compensating the family that was forced to walk away from their home, their entire life savings. Joseph Percoco gets $300,000.
Who's Joseph Percoco?
He's the aide to Governor Cuomo, who has been indicted for criminal bribery charges for his involvement with a company executive who paid him over $300,000, and we had a number of elected officials who got hundreds of thousands of dollars in campaign donations. Yet ordinary families are struggling. We have a family that walked away from their home, literally walked away from their home, lost all of their equity that they put into that home. These are hardworking middle-class families, and it's not just middle-class families. Right over those trees is a public housing project. Those people can't move. They can't move, and they're going to be right under the shadows of this incredible pollution source. It's not right. Public policy is failing the citizens of the United States, and we're tired of being thrown under the bus by all political parties, and we're standing up now.
Finally, we have a trial. This judge gets the opportunity to hear from experts that our experts said, Bob Howard from Cornell said, we have between 3 and 5 years to get this handled. Otherwise, there's no coming back from it. When it rises above 2 degrees, the feedback loops in nature come into effect, and it will be out of our control. Nature magazine just had an article, a peer-reviewed article, says we now have 3 years. In other words, we've got to do this right now. Now, the judge heard this. He heard what the health effects were on the people who live locally. He heard what was going to happen to New York when an ice shelf the size of Delaware breaks off in Antarctica, and all those glaciers now, the cork is removed, and they're all starting. New York will be underwater. And he still decided that the violation of a small statute was more important and a more imminent danger than what is going to happen to the world. That is deplorable and disgusting, and it cannot stand.
We feel just surrounded with your love and your good wishes, and I am so optimistic about shutting this place down. You cannot know. I think we have to do this, and as more and more of us come here to protest, and as all of these wonderful people have lent their names and their bodies and their work, I know how hard you all work to get this done and over with. Please come to the picket every Saturday morning. We are here from 11 to 12, and the more people that come, the stronger our statement. And I want to thank you all so much from the bottom of all of our hearts, I'm sure.
All right, all right. Thank you all for being here. It's really moving. Introduce myself. I'm that guy, and 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 that guy. I'm us. Bless your hearts. This is what it takes. This is the revolution. And what are we fighting? We're fighting that. And what is that? That's a cancer. How do you fight cancer? Well, we have chemotherapy and we have radiation. We have violence, in other words. We have violence to the body and violence to the spirit. It does nothing. What has to change is a radical transformation of one's consciousness.
That's right.
How we feel about ourselves and how we feel about each other. How we communicate, how we relate. From our hearts. This is all heart. What we did is all heart. What the people of Standing Rock did is all heart. The people we oppose are not bad people, but they have lost touch with their heart. Our prayers should go out to them, but we must not stop. They need to be educated, they need to be transformed, but before you can transform them, you have to transform yourself. Where do you start? Look in your life and see what you can do, more than just being here now, which is great. Can you stop eating animals? Can you stop buying things you don't need? Yes. Can you recycle? Yes. Can you look in your world and see how you can bring enlightenment to other people with your consciousness? Yes. Reach out to somebody every day and say, do you know what's going on in your community? And it will shift. We will all shift together. This planet will shift, and we will have this planet. Bless your hearts. Thank you. Thank you. You got it.
So this is what it took to get you out here, huh? I had to give up 7 days of my life. All right, no worries. There's some water signs back there. Pardon?
Kiss the mic.
There's some water signs back there. You feel free to take one and give Governor Cuomo the message: protect our air, protect our water. You cannot deem entire communities expendable. Now, since there's lots of new people here, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what this plant is. This plant right there is the head of the black snake.
That's right.
Right? You have a pipeline threatening your community. You have a compressor station, a metering station, a storage facility. Are you using fracked gas? That is the head of the black snake. That is driving all of the rest of the infrastructure. We have folks here from Pennsylvania. If you have a well near you, you know what's happening? Babies are dying. Infant mortality rates are increasing. We have a governor that banned fracking, citing health impacts. But this plant will require 100 to 150 fracking wells per year. What is that? That's a frack your neighbor energy policy. And this is our climate policy right there. Forget about the rhetoric. Look what's made out of steel right there. That is our climate policy. And it's a frack the climate policy. It's a frack our children's future. This is not sustainable, and we know this. So we've got to shut this all down. And for mini-sink families that are here for the first time, that's a 1 million-gallon diesel oil tank. You have a fracking, anybody from the Pilgrim Pipeline here? You've got an oil pipeline coming through your neighborhood? What's that going to burn? It's going to burn fracked oil, fracked gas. You have an ammonia tank, 15,000-gallon ammonia tank right over there. At 19% concentration. You know why they picked 19? Because at 20%, they have to do a catastrophic release model, and they didn't want to do that. So where were our elected officials saying we're not gonna fall for that scam? Are there any elected officials here? Yay, one! You're from Dutchess County, right? All right,
Dutchess County!
That's a Cricket Valley.
What about Orange County? Are there any elected officials from Orange County here? So now you see the problem. Now you see why this absurd project was built in the middle of a protected agricultural district, in the middle of a critical environmental area. This was all wetlands. This is a recharge area for our aquifer. All those chemicals are going to go right into our water filter, our entire regional water filter. This is sitting right on top of it. It's insane. Nothing about this makes any sense unless, and I'm borrowing from Maddie here, her favorite line, somebody was bribed or blackmailed. You know, it doesn't make any sense, but, you know, it just shows, you know, what sense of entitlement these billion-dollar corporations have and how none of us matter. Our first responders in the town of Minisink, who sacrificed their lives for us every single day, who serve New York City every single day. This is being built in their backyard. What? We're told to power New York City. Anybody here from New York City?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
We hate it.
Say no. Just say no. Call de Blasio. Call Cuomo. Call Con Edison and say, we're not going to sacrifice entire communities in Orange County for this fracked power, which we don't want and we don't need. We can do better than that. We had technology to transition to wind, water, and solar decades ago.
That's right.
Decades ago. And why wasn't it built decades ago? Corruption. This entire project is built on bribery and corruption. And
right.
it's corruption that's the real cause of the climate crisis.
We three are the spark that starts the fire. You are the fire. Resist. We will win. Let's